welcome to the final video in the Inktober series. This is the final 9th video in my Inktober journey. Now let's start it off with day 28, Jumbo. And what I thought about with this one was about a syndrome that makes you think that you have oversized limbs or surroundings. It's called Alice in Wonderland syndrome, and I did a whole video on it, and I will have it up in the top right corner if you are interested in going into depth with it. So in a nutshell, it's a rare condition that disrupts the brain processes to make you think that your body and all the world around you is bigger or smaller than it actually is. Your perception gets distorted, hence the reason why it's called Alice in Wonderland syndrome, like the scenes where Alice drinks potions and she grows tall or she shrinks. Now the illustration that I decided to do for this one today was, I don't know, this just came to my mind of some being that's maybe alive or dead, I really don't know, floating through space with a space helmet on and it's just fully munted, and it's got one big jumbo arm and it's squashed to some sort of being in its jumbo hand, and there's blood flying everywhere. Don't ask me why I thought of this, but this, like I said in the past, I trust the process of my brain when I get images of things when I think of prompts, so I just ran with that. So I'll let you watch this illustration come to life, and I'll be back in a moment for the next illustration in this video. Day 29 is Navigator, and I thought about the failed British voyage called Franklin's Lost Expedition. Captain Sir John Franklin departed England in 1845 on two ships, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, heading towards the Canadian Arctic to record magnetic data to better navigation. But tragedy happened when both ships, along with 129 crew, all died, and expeditions to find these crew and ships yielded nothing. Only some objects that were found on the ship were found floating and are now held in the National Maritime Museum. And these ships too were luxurious by the standards of 1845, with the ships being heated to survive the grueling cold conditions with a lot of preserved food supplies. All 39 missions to locate the ships were all unsuccessful until remains of some of the crew were discovered on King William Island in cooking pots, which suggests that they resorted to cannibalism from starvation. Also, bones were collected and tested in 1981 and found that the bones of these crew members had high amounts of lead in them, which suggests that they possibly died from lead poisoning. But to this day, no one really knows exactly what happened to the ships. But they were finally found by divers in 2014 and 2016, and research on this case is still ongoing. There is a lot of information on this, and if you are interested, go and Google it, because it is actually quite an interesting case. Now, the illustration that I decided to do for this one today was basically a torso. This is another one that just popped into my mind, and I just follow the process. A torso of a woman with the limbs torn off and the head torn off, with the arrows coming out of each limb to represent north, south, east, and west. That's all this one was. That's what I came up with, just like this human compass. So I will let you watch the rest of this one, and I'll be back in a moment for the next prompt in this video. Day 30 is violin, and did you know that there is a story that I discovered about a man that apparently sold his soul to the devil to be able to play the violin and be the greatest. This was the only way people could explain his absolute unnatural talent of playing the violin the way that he did, because he was apparently so damn good that no one could match him. Niccolo Paganini was born in 1782 in Genoa, Italy, and started playing the mandolin at the age of 5, then violin at age 7, and made his public debut when he was just 11 years old. When he got older and more famous, it led him to drink, gamble, and womanize. There was even rumours going around about him butchering women and using their intestines as bowstrings, and he would trap the souls of his victims in the violin itself, and the screams could be heard while he played live. He popularised the spiccato bow bounce, and he could play 12 notes per second due to his apparent Marfan syndrome, which is unusually long fingers and hands, so he could place his fingers in more positions on the neck of the violin. Do you think that Niccolo had sold his soul to the devil, or was he just a prodigy of the violin? If you know this story, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Now, the illustration that I decided to do for this one today was basically turning a human being into a violin, and that's what I did. Basically, just having the head of this person just like part of the spine of this person too just made into the violin, and their body was sort of shaped into a violin, and then there was violin parts added, and then their arms were removed, and then the bow was basically attached to this thing that was coming out of its right arm that goes across and makes the noise. And yeah, a little bit disturbing, but yeah, that's my brain went straight to that when I thought of, violin and how I could make it gruesome. So yeah, that's that one, and I will let you watch the rest of this one, and I will be back in a moment for the absolute final illustration in the Inktober series this year. And the final illustration is Day 31 Landmark, and apparently the Ram Inn that is in England is the most haunted hotel in the UK. Built in 1145, it's an over 800-year-old former inn with a spooky and terrifying past, and has been turned into a place that you can stay to experience the ghosts that are haunting the place. Some of the incidents that happened there to cause the hauntings are an apparent witch was burnt at the stake on the premises in the 1500s. Past owner John Humphreys didn't believe that there was anything going on, so he made it his home, but his first night there saw him grabbed by the arm and dragged from his bed across the room. John then later found children's remains under the staircase with daggers in their heads. Guests have even fled from their rooms in the middle of the night due to being haunted by a monk, and even a centurion on horseback has been spotted disappearing into a wall, and the screams of a man can be heard in the dead of night due to him being murdered by his head being stuck into a fire in the inn. I know I have a few UK people who follow my channel, and if you have heard of this place or you have visited it, please let me know your experiences and other stories about this place in the comment section below. Now, the illustration that I decided to do for this one was just a pumpkin on a floating island in the sky with a sign that says Happy Halloween, because today is basically Halloween here. So yeah, it'll be Halloween for everyone shortly, because Australia is one of the first countries that gets everything first, so we live in the future. So yeah, I just basically wanted to make a landmark of a pumpkin on a floating piece of land. So that was it. And this one's not my favorite at all. This one was really crap, and I'm sort of very thankful that Inktober is over and done with now, and then we can resume to normal programming in the next video, whichever that will be, which will be, what's today, Thursday, so my video is released Thursday. So yeah, I'll have one coming out this Sunday, hopefully. If you don't see one this Sunday, it's because I've had enough and I just want a break, but there should be something this Saturday. But anyway, that is it from me with Inktober. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Dislike it, I couldn't care less what you do, because any interaction you give me goes towards the algorithm for other people to find me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.